Welcome everyone today. I'm here at the Career Centre in Stratford, but I know some of you are visiting from Kitchener-Waterloo region as well. I want to introduce career and work coach and employer liaison Tine Buechler, who works here at the Stratford campus.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here, and I am so excited about the opportunity to do an employer showcase with Libro. I work in Huron and Perth counties, and it has been it's been exciting to see some of my clients get hired at Libro and how happy they are there. And they have come from some pretty non-traditional roles. So I'm very happy to welcome Libro here and to work with them because I like how they approach, and I know that my clients are still working there and happy, and I appreciate that as well. So just to start, Libro it's a financial services company. They were founded in 1951, and they have over 750 employees and over 38 locations in southwestern Ontario. So although I work in Huron and Perth, this is not limited to Huron and Perth. There are many, many, many opportunities way beyond Huron and Perth. So Heather is here and Marty is here from Libro. And first of all, Heather, could you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Ens. I'm the Human Resources Business Partner for the Huron-Perth area of Libro Credit Union. And so I'm responsible for supporting our community banking leaders and staff and the recruitment for the Huron-Perth area.
Marty, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. So my name is Marty Rops. I'm the Regional Manager for the Huron-Perth region. I've been working for Libro for 36 years. And when I started in banking, I never thought I would stay with the same company for that long. But some of the things that have kept me here, one is the variety. It's a sector that has been going through a lot of change, so certainly has kept things fresh, but also the approach and focus to people. We're definitely a people organization. We've built a very strong culture over the years, and that has probably been the main reason that has kept me working for Libro as long as I have.
Mm-hmm. I'd also like to introduce Michelle Wynn, who is joining us on this call. And Michelle is one of my coworkers, and she's the Human Resources Business Partner for the Waterloo region.
Thank you for joining today. Okay, so let's get started right away. The first question that we had to ask, and we're going to point at Heather for most of these questions, and Marty will come in if he needs, and so will Tina, just in terms of how we can help. What is your service or product, and how does it fit in the bigger economic picture?
Mm-hmm. So as Tina said, we are a financial institution, but we are a credit union, which is different. So we have our customers are called owners because every single one of them has a share in the credit union, and they have the ability to influence decision-making within the credit union. And so it is a cooperative financial environment. And you find we're a little bit different than maybe what you would think of as a typical financial institution, in that we have more of a homey type environment. And our purpose is helping our owners to achieve their goals, supporting individuals and businesses to thrive.
Yes.
So we lost her for a bit. So I know from some of my clients that are working there that you're very involved with your customers or your owners, helping them step by step. And I know this actually from some family members who have done some banking at Libro. So the next question is, why are you an employer of choice?
Yes, that's a great question. And Marty had alluded to this as well. And his number of years of service with Libro also speaks to that. We are heavily invested in our employees. You had said, Tina, we have over 750 employees now just in southwestern Ontario. So when you think of Libro, people typically think of a branch environment, which is a smaller type environment, but we have 750 employees in southwestern Ontario. That's huge. And we really have, that's a lot. And we have a one-team approach and a very strong work culture that I'm proud to say starts with our CEO, Steve Bolton, and works all the way through. I have about 21 years of experience working in HR now, and I can say that this is the best work culture that I have worked on. We really have a focus on our staff. We have a focus on their development that they're interested in, right? So what are their goals? And coaching our staff. So if you ever get an email from any of us, you will see that our email signature has the word coach behind our job description. And that is so accurate. So every single one of us, 750 employees, we work on that one team coaching approach. And the only person that has a different title there is Steve Bolton, the CEO, and he has head coach behind his signature.
And I'll just add to what Heather said too, and definitely our focus on our team and our staff has always been a priority for us. But another thing that I think really appeals to our staff is our focus on our communities and giving back to them as well. Within our Libro team, we talk about Libro pillars. What are some of those areas in our communities that we can focus on to be a partner in trying to find some solutions to fix a lot of the issues that we have? And the Libro pillars are around housing, which I think we all know has been a real challenge the last number of years. Employment, again, one of the reasons why we're having this showcase is is trying to attract quality people to our businesses, not just us, but everywhere within Huron Perth. Local food accessibility and food security. How can we play a role there? And the fourth one is around financial resilience, which, as Heather says, it kind of alludes to our staff all being coaches. How can we make a difference in the lives of our owners and helping them reach their financial goals? And it's all based on building those relationships. And we're a very strong believer in the importance of that relationship, not only with our owners, but also with our communities at large. And one thing I've heard our head coach, Steve Bolton, say is that one of our goals is that every community where we have a location, that community is better off because Libro is part of it.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. I can speak from experience with some of my clients, how much you coach, because I've had some people coming from healthcare, start at Libro, and I've had somebody start who worked in hospitality, and I had somebody whose last job was in manufacturing, and all three of them transitioned to Libro and are still there. So that required coaching on the part of Libro to assist them in those transitions and help them be successful as they are. So thank you for that. So I would like to have a chat now just about what are the careers available? Like Marty, you said you've been there 36 years. I mean, there's obviously lots of opportunity there. What are the employment opportunities within Libro?
Mm-hmm. There are a multitude of employment opportunities within Libro. And I'll start with on the community banking side, so in the bank, and keeping in mind that we have significant infrastructure as well as supporting opportunities. So in the Huron Perth community banking region, we have owner experience representatives, and that's a key role for interacting with our owners. So they are the face of Libro when you first come into a location. They are our staff who help to develop those relationships. They process transactions, so monetary transactions, as well as you would think of a teller doing in a financial institution. And as Marty said, the focus is on building the relationships and coaching the owners, in their idea of financial prosperity. So not our idea, their idea of financial prosperity. And the focus is on those owners. So that would be more of our entry role to the community banking. And as you said, Tina, people come from all different backgrounds for that role. So you do not have to have a background in finance in order to move into that role. We are looking for people that have those skills to develop the relationships with our owners and to also be able to process those transactions, but it's really about relationship building and owner service. Outside that, within the branch, we also have positions that are focused on personal lending and investment. So we have personal banking specialist, which is the lending side of things, and we have investment specialist, which is focused on the investing side of things. And often people move to those roles from the owner experience representative role when they decide that they would like to get more experience in a certain area or would like to focus on lending or investing. We also have financial planners, regional financial planners. We have owner experience supervisors, so supervisors in the branches, community managers, which are the managers for the branch or for the locations, pardon me. And then like Marty, we have regional managers as well. So there's a multitude of different positions available within the location structure on the banking side. On the administration and infrastructure side, we have every department that you could probably imagine. So we have administration, brand, which is marketing. We have people and culture, which is human resources and learning and development. So we have a whole learning and development department. We have accounting, credit administration, credit analyst. I mean, you name it, any infrastructure that you could think of. And we often have people within the organization that start out as owner experience representatives, move to those types of roles as well. And we spend a lot of our time developing our staff. And I think we do a good job at it because we spend a lot of time filling internal positions as people move into other roles that they've developed into.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, well, one thing I'll add to what Heather said, I think we've already touched on it a little bit, is I think the misconception that people need a banking background or a business background to work for Libro, and that may be true depending on what position we're posting for. However, we're looking for people, and this is from the community banking side, looking for people that are comfortable having curious and confident conversations with our owners. Really, if you're able to have a conversation, if you're comfortable asking questions, if you're comfortable kind of going a little bit deeper with the conversation and seeing where that might go, that's the person that we're looking for. We hire very much on attributes, on what the person brings to the table. Mm-hmm. There are things that we can train, and we have a great training program to support staff. And it's those attributes that people bring is what we really look for. One recent example, a newer staff member to our team in one of our locations. She's don't want to give her age, but I'd say just slightly younger than myself. Her background is a combination of acting, teaching, some sales, and she has walked into our frontline position, owner experience rep, and is doing a fantastic job because she loves talking to people. She loves talking to people, and she is very quickly becoming one of our star performers.
That's exciting, because I like the idea of the allowing for transferable skills, allowing for experiences to transfer. It doesn't, we all have to teach somebody when they get hired. There's some things we're going to have to do training on. So to train on this versus that and go with transferable skills is a very valuable for us, a very valuable employer to be connected with.
Tina?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, because we're on this topic, I just wanted to, there's a question in the chat about construction mortgage and whether Libro does diligence and goes to the site before offering funds. But it's also a question here asking, is there an opportunity for architects or construction management graduates in Libro, and that you guys have a department there that focuses on construction?
Marty,
do you want me to take that one?
Yeah,
I can
from the banking business side.
Yes, yeah. So we do have a facilities department. It is a very small department. In a lot of what's being asked in the question, we would probably contract out have that done. We don't have the volumes to be able to have I'd say someone on full time to do construction management or to do construction draws or to assess those beforehand. Yeah, I'm not sure. I hope that answers the question. Again, our facilities department is very, very small, and we use a lot of outside partners to support us there.
Okay. Next question is, what does a day look like? A day in the life of somebody who works at Libro.
Well, no day is the same, which is a very nice thing that I enjoy. So the pace can vary significantly. Within our locations, it really depends on who's coming in that day and what they need. So there can be times in the locations where there's a lineup out the door, and there can be other times where there's a bit more of a lull, and it's not especially predictable. In terms of the owner experience representative position, they can do a number of different roles within the branch and work in a rotation where they could be on the front line. So what you would typically think of as a teller. They can be on reception. They can be working on reports in the back office. And so it is a bigger scope of a role with a variety of duties.
That sounds like it gives people the opportunity to decide what sector or what area is of more interest to them because they're touching multiple areas the same day.
I often hear that from our staff, particularly when we're interviewing internal staff, that they have discovered an area because of the OER position that they would like to focus on. So sometimes it's investing, sometimes it's personal lending, sometimes it's administration in a certain area, or it could be brand and marketing or human resources or learning and development. So it really does help people discover different areas that they enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that we learned through the pandemic, similar to a lot of employers, is the ability to work remotely. Prior to the pandemic, that was something that we were talking about. However, COVID has certainly forced that conversation on us, and we have a number of positions where the work is solely from home, is from remote, which has opened up a lot of opportunities for people living within the Huron-Perth area.
Yeah. So our branch or our location positions, like the owner experience representative, need to work in the branch 100% of the time, as well as the investment specialist and the personal banking specialist. They need to be available in branch for the owners coming in. But as you can see, for myself and Michelle, we are not sitting in a specific office environment. Both of us are working remotely and do the majority of the time. And we've set up a really great infrastructure for that.
Wonderful. I do have another question in the chat. Someone is saying that they've done their CIFC certification, but not from the banking background. What are the opportunities for a person like me at Libro?
Marty, did you want to talk about that, or would you like me to take that question?
I can start with that one. So
Sure.
I just had to do a quick check for CIFC to make sure I had the right certification. So
Yeah.
if I'm correct, it's around investments and selling mutual funds, and there are certainly opportunities within the banking sector. Again, we do have some positions that do require this certification. And basically, these are people who are having conversations with our owners focused on wealth, and they have the ability to sell mutual funds as part of finding a solution for our owners. So definitely lots of opportunities there.
And again, as Marty and I were talking about before, about hiring based on the attributes, right? So you can have the certification, you might not have a banking background, and you may have very transferable skills to the banking industry. And we can teach people things if you have those skills. And we are very much invested in that, because if you have the soft skills, that's really important. Those are things that we can't necessarily teach people the same way we can teach those hard skills.
Excellent. Thank you, Christy. That's my the questions that I had planned to ask. Did you have any other in the chat box?
Nope. So if anyone else has anything, now's the time. Wonderful. We have thank yous. So I just want to remind everybody today. So if anybody on the call or anybody watching this recording is interested in having a more detailed conversation, a more specific conversation about working at Libro or working in the finance industry or even in your area, we're happy to help at the Career Center to connect you to Heather or Marty. And if you're coming from Waterloo, we'll send you over to Michelle. And and then if you're still thinking about heading in that direction, that's when we would connect you with a coach like Tine Buechler, who can speak to opportunities, training opportunities. But it sounds like Libro does its best to help train and advance you from within, which is a great way to start your career, and who knows where you'll end up. So thank you, everybody.
All right.
I will send this video to everybody who's participated today, and it will be on YouTube for anyone to watch in the future.
I just have Heather, anything additional you want to chat about before we sign off?
I don't think so. I wanted to thank you for inviting us to participate in this, and look forward to individuals connecting with us. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have about working at Libro and encouraging you in your careers.
Thank you. How about you, Marty?
No, I'm good, Tina. Again, thank you for the opportunity here to talk about Libro.
Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us because, as I said at the beginning, it's one of my favorite companies. I know that you've hired lots of my clients and they're still working there and happy. And so that's a very good sign for me. Makes it an employer of choice for me. So thank you. All right, we'll sign off. We'll see you all later.